south operations in the Temecula area in Riverside County is it's both open channel and pressurized pipeline hydraulics. And when you make that transition from pressurized pipeline hydraulics into open channel, and you have deposits, even wind in your open channel, and then go back into falling grade pipeline, when you're flowing at times up to 2,000 cubic feet per second, bad things can happen in a hurry if that's not operated well. Particularly with all the development now out in Riverside County, we have had problems out there before where it has just simply flooded out into some dry farming areas. If we goof that up today, we'll be buying literally hundreds of houses. So this is an area that we pay a tremendous amount of attention to its maintenance and its operation. It's a portal on the San Jacinto Tunnel. So as we're training operators, as we're training the maintenance crews, we'll walk them through this. And when Mike leaves us, this will be with us forever, and we can continue to leverage that. I will jump ahead here a bit. 5 minutes? Oh, I need to jump ahead. Because Mike will talk forever. How do I do that? To go back for just a moment without starting the video, I repeated a couple things that the gentleman with the crane dragging operation said. 5/8 inch cable tethered to the drag, hooked onto the crane, going side booming the crane, which requires a special permit from Cal OSHA to take a crane, rotate the boom to the side, and then drag with it. It's a specially built crane. It's a small crane, but it's a $600,000 crane. And that's a very dangerous operation because if you load that side boom inappropriately, drag with the drag straight instead of at an angle, one 11-foot cable, one 9-foot cable, what happens very quickly, instead of that calcium and sand and algae buildup sloughing off and rolling off the drag, much like you see a snowplow with its blade angled, that drag loads up, the front end of that crane picks up, it goes like this, and it's in the aqueduct. Now you have 2 employees and a $600,000 crane in the aqueduct. Worst case scenario, it's a terrible conversation with the employee's family if it's a fatal situation or a serious injury. It's definitely a conversation with Cal OSHA. It's definitely a conversation with the general manager and probably the board. So when it comes to budget time, very selfishly, every time I'm guaranteed this program gets taken out of the budget, why are we making videos? Why are we doing this? We don't need this. I go back to these very examples and I say, it's an employee safety issue. It is a catastrophic failure cost avoidance issue. Do you want to put yourself routinely at risk of buying hundreds of homes in the Temecula area if we put too much water through the San Diego Canal? And it is also a cost-saving issue. By compressing this time of the onboarding and providing on a routine basis where it's very easy for somebody to pull this information or you can push it to them, you have reduced that onboarding time. So no longer do you need to have somebody right there with Mr. Mike Lopez down in the Temecula area for 2 to 5 to 7 years before you can trust them as the facility operations manager. They constantly have this resource with them at their desktop, at their laptop, in their truck, and they can refer back to it. And as long as we're fortunate enough that Mike's still around with us, they can email Mike and he'll get back to them. So there's that added safety factor built in. And every time I tell that story, kick, punch, fight, scream, bite, I get this money back into the budget. So I just have to keep reminding our management of that. We have 5 treatment plants. We've put ozone as the primary disinfectant at 3 of those now. We're doing the remaining 2. We're taking this technology to take that learning curve and reduce it at those subsequent plants. So the Jensen plant was the first place or the Mills plant actually was the first place we did ozone. We're taking both the Mills and the Jensen information and capturing it here. What problems have we had with it? How do we operate it? How do the diffusers behave? How do the contactors behave? How do the generators behave? And pushing that to the crews down at the Skinner water treatment plant where we just brought ozone online. And there's also a talk forum where they can routinely get together, personally and also via this technology to share lessons learned. Build up there, another video. I will try to jump past that. We're through with our second year of effort. We have started to capture that tribal knowledge. As of last month, 245 active users. We monitor the use of this. 40 subject matter experts captured. Most recently, 4 key retirees, 120 plus years of experience. The videos, 94 of them, 15 more coming. A lot of key documents attached. Right now we have 1 full-time employee doing the video work. Opcom is doing the editing and transcription for us. It's not cheap, but if you put it into the context of what it could potentially cost to not do it, it's pennies on the dollar. The management team loves it, the board loves it. We're going to stick with it. Some of the challenges, the hosting of the videos can be a challenge. We've built out the IT system now, and that's worked out pretty well. Scheduling the subject matter experts. Earlier, a comment was made about people, Bert, I believe it was you, about people hanging on to their knowledge to preserve their job, if you will. We've experienced that myth exponentially, but have broken that down now to the point that we're on the other side of this bubble where we can't keep up with the demand for people to talk to us and capture what they know. A reluctance to go on camera. I thought the avatar thing was interesting. I have some neat caricatures of certain people I'd love to build. It was tough sledding to get started. The district had this technology and this contract, I found, for 5 years prior to when I went over to operations, and just could not get it moving. I don't want to give myself the credit, but I think part of my complete panic in moving over to operations and seeing the potential that was going to happen with the loss of that knowledge started driving some of this. It is helpful for process improvement. We've been able to ferret out by combining all of those eyes and minds together through the technology. Gee, why are you doing it that way? That's 2 more steps than you really need to do, or that doesn't really look safe to me. That's been very helpful. That's it. Questions?